Oh, okay, think.
It's cool in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely. I really like it. This one.
Right. Oh. So welcome to this evening's practice. Um, you're right. I mean, it's so hot outside, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm definitely not complaining. Um, so we are going to incorporate a little bit of a cooling pranayama practice. I think we're going to start with that. But the theme of today's class and the theme for this week is gratitude. And that's really partly because, I've just spent a week away and, it's good, isn't it, to practice gratitude. And so to do that, we're going to be focusing into the heart chakra. So that means we want to really do some deep heart opening postures. We're going to work up to dancer pose, but it's going to be a supported dancer. We're not taking the full pose unless you're really madly keen to do it. But it really allows this heart opening and the opening through the shoulders as well. So let's just center. So if you'd like to take a comfortable seat, make sure that is comfy for you. So you can be in Sukhasana cross-legged. Just check in with the lower back. Notice if there's any rounding through the lower back. Or if you're okay, whether you just need some support. And then you can bring your index finger and curl it into the thumb. Both hands. Turn the hands down. Allow the eyes to soften. Maybe to close. And begin to turn your senses inwards. Just going to take 3 deep inhales. Exhaling out through the nose. Inhaling fully. Exhaling deeply. Just one more breath out. And now let your breath return to a regular familiar rhythm. Taking your attention into your belly. We're going to begin to work with diaphragmatic breathing. So our practice tonight is going to be a slow flowing system or series of postures. And I'd really like you to stay with your breath as much as you can. So we're going to actually start our practice standing. And we're going to work with ocean breath. So just for the time being, as you focus your attention on your breath coming into the present moment, allow the belly to feel soft. Notice if there's any restrictions, so clothing restrictions, any tightness in muscle tissue. And also just notice if any of that feels familiar to you. Whether you can soften into that area. And then on your next inhale, imagine drawing your breath up through your spine and up and out to the crown of the head. So that as you do that, you lengthen through your spine growing. So holding the legs now, some muscular action in the back. Continue to just focus on the breath, coming from the tailbone all the way up the spine and out from the head. And as you do that, you can allow your shoulders to slide down your back, shoulder blades just sliding down the back, moving tops of shoulders moving away from the ears. So just taking 2 more rounds of breath. And then just lightly flutter your eyes open, keeping the gaze down towards your mat. So releasing your hand mudra, just going to stretch the hands and the arms out by your sides, really stretch out through the palms of the hands, working fingers away from the palms, and then softening the fingers, and you can lift the hands and then interlace fingers and reach up towards the ceiling. On your next exhale, exhaling over to your left hand side. Inhale up to center, coming over to the right, back to center again, over to the left. Just going to take this little soft flowing sequence a couple more times. So each time you come over to the side, just exploring how your side ribs feel. Next time we come back up to center, you're going to release the hand. And then taking both hands down, interlace them behind you, draw the hands down towards the floor and lift up through your heart. So you want to squeeze the shoulder blades in towards your spine, drawing and opening up into chest, clavicle, shoulders active, shoulder blades active. Breathe in. So releasing the hands now and bringing the hands back together and exhaling, bringing the thumbs to the third eye. Just imagine breathing into this point. It's just taking a moment now to commit your practice to something that you are grateful for. So committing your practice to that. And then releasing the hands down to the heart, so sealing it into the heart. Okay, and then allow the eyes to open. We're going to take a different seat. So if you want to work on your bolster or on a seat or using your bricks and blocks, you can. But we're going to come to thunderbolt pose, so kneeling. So I think I'm going to not overstress my knee, and I'm going to use this myself. So any knee issues, just avoid stressing the knee in a deep flexion. Okay, so cooling breath. It's a really lovely breath. I know that we've practiced it together before. It's this one where if we can curl the tongue, no, we do that. And so if you can't curl the tongue, that's okay. So what you can do is you can just allow teeth to very softly rest. Lips are slightly parted, and then what we're doing is we're drawing the breath in, and you can feel the breath coming along either side of your teeth. So see if that's something that you can work with. If that doesn't feel comfortable, because if it feels like it's setting up some tension here in the jaw, which there's a possibility it might be doing, then what you can also do is you imagine you've got a straw in your mouth, and you can suck up like that. But if you can do the curling tongue thing, then use that. So a few options to play around with. So ideally what you want to be able to feel is the cool air running over your tongue. And then what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through the mouth, but exhale out of the nose. So each time you exhale, you need to just allow the lips to close. And what you're doing is you're actually capturing the coolness in your mouth from the inhale. So this is a really good breath to calm an agitated mind or nervous system, especially if you're feeling overheated. So just taking 2 more rounds of breath. And then releasing any work with your breath. Simply just allow the lips to close again. Your breathing to return to normal. And then noticing any sensations. You're going to notice sensations in the mouth, but you might notice sensations elsewhere, particularly say in the mind and brain. So hopefully feeling sort of calmer, more grounded. Notice if you can let go of the weight of the hips, let them descend down. Okay, and now just open the eyes. We're going to very gently come off our seat. And come to all fours, padding under your knees if you need to. Want to have a nice neutral spine. We'll take some hip circles. So take some soft hip circles. You want to really feel into your waist, the lower back, into your belly as well. So you can be quite big and expressive. Okay, the next time you circle back round and you come back towards the front, towards the hands, pause there, and then let's circle back the other way. Maybe the circle is small initially and then it gets a bit bigger as you start to explore into sort of more outer edges of this movement. And allow the shoulders, the neck, the head to join in. And then the next time you come back round towards the hands again, and pause there. Tucking the toes. So aiming to get all the plants of your toes down on the mat. So you can really press through the balls of the toes. So you can feel the plantar fascia, soles of the feet, stretching out. And draw in that Uddiyana Bandha. So you've got that neutral spine. And then on your next inhale, inhale and lift the knees off the mat. So we're just hovering the shins over the mat. Feels nice and strong through the arms. So you want the Hatha Bandha switched on. Continue to work with your Uddiyana Bandha as well so that we keep that neutral spine. And then press back into downward facing dog. Your knees are still bent. Continuing to press through the hands. Reset the Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and then begin to lengthen out through the backs of the legs so that you open out. And let's see how the backs of the legs feel, whether you can start to work the soles of the feet down towards the mat. If you find that you feel really tight here and it's not comfortable to be in this static position, then you can simply walk through individual feet if you need to just do that. Just helps to ease into tight calf muscles. And then coming back to a static position. Inhale, lift up into the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels can come down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, heels down. Look forward. Inhale, the left leg high, and then fold the knee and bring the knee in. We're going to come into a really soft pigeon. So if pigeon isn't good for you tonight, for whatever reason, you come into deer pose. So we'll look at that in a second. But for pigeon, you're going to just keep the hips high. So you can walk that back leg back. You can walk the knee out to the side and stay high. So sometimes it's quite nice to have your bricks here, or you might want to pop a block underneath and you're feeling. So choose an option that works for you. But if this is really uncomfortable, then you can roll onto your hip and you can come over into deer pose. Or we stay high in deer. Okay. So just working into the hip at the moment. So breathe in. Lift the heart. Draw the shoulder blades in towards each other. Shoulders coming down the back. Take one more breath. And then tuck the toes of that extended leg. Then Uddiyana Bandha as you come back into your downward facing dog. Walk out through your legs just a couple of times. Then inhale to balls of the feet. Exhale, feet come down. Twice more, inhaling high. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, high. Exhale, heels down. So I'm coming into the ball of the foot again. Inhale, the opposite leg and lift and draw it forward. Coming into your pigeon pose on this side. Then staying high, supporting yourself in the posture. With any knee issues or lower back issues that may not be that comfortable in this posture, you can roll over into deer. Again, so lift your heart. And then maybe just allow the eyes to close for it, because you can think about and come back to this sense of gratitude. Just noticing how you're feeling about that. So re-embodying that feeling of gratitude, allowing that to ripple through your body. And one more breath here. And then going to the flat of your hands again, tuck the back toes, the long leg, and press your way into downward facing dog. Okay, so from downward facing dog, you can try working the heels down towards the mat just for a moment. Engaging through your mat again. And then we're going to walk the feet towards the hands, coming towards the top of the mat. Take your hands onto the shins. Engage your bandha, Uddiyana Bandha again, so that we've got a nice long spine. So your gaze is at least a foot, probably more like a foot and a half or 2 feet away from your toes, if that makes sense. So where we're looking at on the floor is about 2 feet length away from your toes. And that helps to create this sort of spine, long spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Okay, take one more breath here and exhale, fold down and perhaps soften through the knees a little bit more. Okay, so allowing the knees to soften, it lets the belly rest onto the thigh. Okay, so this is an option, so just check in with your shoulders, make sure your shoulders are happy with this. You're going to take the arms out to the side and interlace the hands behind you. Okay, and then we can gently work the hands towards the ceiling. So just moving very gently, because you just want to feel into this. And then allow the head to hang. So we're drawing the shoulder blades in towards each other. The hands are working up towards the ceiling. And we're allowing the head to hang.
but also opening out through the backs of the legs at the same time. There's a lot going on here. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades towards each other. Okay, and then a little bit of engagement in your belly. You're just going to very gently move those arms back so that the thumbs come and rest up against the lower back. Oh dear, gosh, sorry, I don't know what's going on there. Interruption. Inhale back into this Ardha Uttanasana position. Half forward fold, and the fingers can be on the mat or they can be onto the shins. So just drawing in again at Ujjayi Bandha, and then song through the knees this time. We're going to come up with this long spine. Yeah, lovely. So come up with that lovely tall spine. Great work. Bringing the palms and the hands together, and then exhale them down. Coming to the third eye again. Okay, so let's just walk the feet in so that the feet are always touching. This can feel quite unusual because we tend not to practice this posture too much. It's a classic posture that you'll find in Ashtanga Yoga. So again, just pausing here at the third eye, seated intuition. So noticing how your body responded to some of the deep opening. Okay, so just again, allowing a sense of gratitude, perhaps for what your body does for you, to ripple through your consciousness. So allowing it to settle. And then release the hands to the heart, sealing it in, and then taking the hands down by the sides of the body. So you want to be nice and long towards Tadasana, working the crown of the head up, moving into ocean breath. So quick recap, you're inhaling through the nose, you're exhaling out the mouth. Can sound a little bit like Ujjayi. So as you inhale, you can hear the inhale as though you're listening to waves drawing back over pebbles or over sand. This is a cooling breath, ocean breath. So, real invitation here for you to maintain the breath practice, your ocean breath, throughout the next sequence. So allow the eyes to open, continue with your ocean breath. Let's inhale together and inhale, arms up overhead, gaze the thumbs. Exhale, the hands down through the heart center and fall down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhaling out of the mouth, and you step that left foot back. Walk the right foot away from the midline and then drop that back knee. So you've got some space between your hips. Come up into a low lunge and then walk that knee or this leg a little bit further back. So that you're kind of off the center of your knee, more towards the top of the knee. Inhale, arms up. And then bring the next cactus and draw the shoulder blades in towards each other again. So nice and active through the shoulder blades and squeeze the inner thighs in. And as if that's not enough to deal with, I'd also like you to take your attention to where you know your Uddiyana Bandha is and see if you can just activate that just a little bit. Breathe in. One more breath. Releasing hands and arms on the exhale, either side of the front foot. Lift up the back leg, and you're going to step back into either a plank or half plank. So choose which works best for you. Reset through Uddiyana Bandha, and then exhale the knees down onto the mat, and then roll the body down. And hands underneath the shoulders, draw the shoulder blades in. Inhale, lift up, lift up. Exhale, come back down again. We're going to come up several times. This time as you press through the hands, just noticing how much weight goes through the hands and the arms. So we're going to work towards 40% of action going on in the arms and the hands. And you're aiming to get 60% of the action in your back muscles. So you really need to squeeze the shoulder blades. Perhaps don't come up quite as high. Gotta really press the thighs down. Okay, let's just do this once more. Tuck the toes, wing the elbows in. Press through tabletop, back into your downward facing dog. The downward facing dog. Using your ocean breath. One more. And then inhale that left leg high again. Step it to the top of the mat. And this time we're coming up into a high lunge. So we're not dropping that back knee. We're coming to a high lunge. So just walk the hands onto the shin for a moment. Lift up through your belly and draw into Uddiyana Bandha. If you need to use your bricks for this posture, you can, or you can work straight onto the floor. We're going to take the hands back down onto either bricks or the floor, and then you're going to walk your right hand into your left foot, and then begin to twist. So we wanted to create some space between the belly and the thigh, and then we're going to really lift that top arm up. And again, see if you can just allow the shoulder to be soft whilst the shoulder blade is moving towards the midline. So quite a strong twist. Okay, on your next exhale, float the arm back towards the back of your mat and then take a full circle. Let's just take several full circles. We're gently working into that shoulder socket. Next time the hand comes down to the mat, place it there. And with energy in your core, step forward. Fold down, let the head fold. Uttanasana. Okay, again, engage through your belly in the Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, lift up with that strong spine. Exhaling, hands come down through the heart center. Down. Just to rest back in Tadasana. And if you wish, leave the feet underneath the hips so you can bring the feet together again. So we haven't done very much, but the heat just comes up. It's incredible, isn't it? So in actual fact, we have done quite a lot. So you can pat yourself on the back. So let's just settle back into ocean breath. Use the benefit of the exhale to cool. One more round. And inhale, lift the arms up against the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat and step the opposite, the right foot back, and then walk the left foot out. So you're creating space for your hips, and then allow that knee to drop down, and then walk the back leg further back. I've got on sort of flexible leggings, so I'm going to be stuck in mine. Okay, bring the hands onto the shin and then draw in at the Uddiyana Bandha. So you're drawing in, creating a wee bit of space there, and then you're coming back down either onto the bricks or onto the mat. Have we
We are working with the opposite leg, aren't we? Or have I got our legs?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
Am I? Good. Don't think I am. Yeah. That's what the problem is. Okay, and then we're going to take the twist. So twisting into your inner thigh.
I think I'm up for it. Yeah, I'm sure I can't. It's doing when come back. We did come up this as I think we twisted it. Like we weren't kneeling. But I came.
Okay, so what we need to do is
Get the right leg.
you know what, we're gonna step back to the top.
No.
Step back to the top and it needs to be your left leg you step back on, so your right leg is forward.
Yeah.
Step back on the left leg. Okay, create the same amount of space in the belly. And find your twist, you lengthen through that long leg as well. Sorry about that.
Blame it on the fact that I've had a week's holiday. So as you're in this posture, find what's going on. What's going on with you? If you bring your hands back down and then walk this leg out a bit further, and then we're going to sweep the arms up. I have completely missed out a whole chunk of the practice. Okay, so this is where we were. You remember?
Yes.
So draw in to your chakra, Manipura chakra. Come on, Jane. Squeeze the shoulders in. Feeling that the heart is opening. One more breath here. And then exhale. Hands come down. Lift up through that back knee. Step back to your plank or palm plank. Come down either knees, roll down on knees, chest, chin. And then lift into an upward facing dog or cobra this time. So if you want to come into upward facing dog, we're resting on the tops of the feet, or if you're in a high cobra, then just checking in with that lower back, the legs from the knee down and resting on the mat. Or you can come further down. Just checking in with how the lower back feels. Okay, and then exhaling through the mouth and down onto your mat. Okay, press through the hands and then come into tabletop. Set up through your bandit and then back into downward facing dog. This is why I got my legs mixed up. And then inhale, your right leg comes high, step it forward. Stay in high lunge this time. Use your bricks if you need to create some space in the belly and then take your twist. So we're now actually back to where we should have been, or where we've raced forward to this point, haven't we? All right, that's anyway. Breathe in. I'm just going to come out for a second. Take one more round of breath. Exhale, hands down to the mat and step to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana again. Okay, so just going to work back into your shoulders again. So soft through the knees, barely resting on the thighs, nice and deep through the fold. Okay, so take the hands out and then interlace the hands behind you. Okay, then we're going to explore. So only work to the point where it feels comfortable and no more. So squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other. Squeeze them in, allow the head to be heavy. Neck long. Continue to squeeze.
Maybe just allow the hands to keep on floating up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. One more breath. Manipura chakra, Muladhara switched on. And then very softly move the hands back towards your buttocks. Okay, softly come down. And then they release. And soft through the knees, engagement in the core again as you sweep back up with that spine that's strong and long. And exhale. Okay, just taking the hands down to your sides. So hopefully you're feeling quite open into your shoulders. So again, so as you know, dancer is a balancing pose, and we're just going to play around with dancer. If you want to use the wall, then come to the wall to practice this. But initially, sorry, I'm just going to play around with how our hands feel. So take your feet a hip width apart. Just check down, make sure that the feet are actually aligned with your hip points. Tuck your tail and draw in at Uddiyana Bandha, and see if you can lift up through Mula Bandha as well. So nice and strong in the core. And sway onto the left foot, taking all the weight into the left foot. Press into that foot, lengthen through the leg, and then see if you can either take hold of your opposite foot like this. So you're lifting the right leg, and you might want to take hold of it like this, or if that is too much of a stretch for you, simply bring the knee in front. So knee in front, that's challenging the balance enough, or you can come to this place. Hand this free hand coming up here, and then reset through your bandhas. And the house breath. Release that foot down. Just loosen up out of that standing leg. Then come back again to balance. Just rocking over onto your right foot now. All of your engagement in that right leg. Taking your attention into that area and really press into that foot. So as you press into the foot, you can feel the engagement. And then begin to lift the opposite leg off. And just explore your balance here. And if you need to or want to bring the knee up like this is great. It's perfectly fine. If you want to have a go at bending through the knee, catching hold of the foot, that's also good. And then you can take a free hand onto your hip. That helps to give some sense of stability and balance. Come back to your breath and use that exhale out of the mouth. It can be really helpful in standing posture. Wonderful breath. And then release down. Okay, just shaking off. Okay, just take a moment now to walk between or rock between both feet. Then come back to center, slot through the knees and let the hips, the pelvis, just drop down slightly. Let the shoulders feel heavy as well. It's almost as though you're kind of doing this. But you're not, because the spine is quite long. Now, I'd just like you to cast your mind back to a few seconds ago and just be curious as to what you were saying to yourself when you were working up into the balance. And were you being kind or were you being a little bit harsh? If you're being a little bit harsh, I'd like you to just identify that part of you that was doing that. And you can reassure that part of you. You can say, all is well. Okay.
I know that you've got the best of intentions for me, but thank you. Okay, because this is what our brain does. Our mind's really clever. Let's when you go to this one, we don't need to have a go, to be having a go at that. So just allowing the eyes to open. Okay, so I'm going to suggest now that you do come to the wall. You could all come to the wall to practice, because it's great. It gives us the opportunity to really explore the posture. Okay, so sorry, I was just looking at that. Okay, so if you just rest your supporting hand on the wall. If you feel that you want to, I know you've got the mirror so you can look at the mirror, but if you guys that are in front of me want to turn around or work the opposite way, so you're looking at me, you're welcome to. Okay, so I'm going to ground down through the foot that's closest to the wall, and then really press into that foot and take the opposite leg off, so you're balancing a little bit, and then try flexing here, and notice if it's possible to catch hold of that foot, or you can grab hold of a piece of material as well. That's the other thing. If this is still too tight for you, then you can come back to this position here. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, there you go. Okay, from here, get a sense, and you might be able to just, because we're supported, gaze down to see if your knees are in alignment. That's what we want. We want the knees to be in alignment. And then begin to squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other. As you squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other, you want to think about the stable hand. I'm just kind of like rubbing the air just to show you, but you can draw in at the other bandha as well. So draw in at this bandha. I'm going to come away from the wall. You can draw in at the bandha. Whoops. Draw in at the bandha. Press the foot into the hand. Press it in. About.
No, it's something, just doesn't like it. So I'm not pushing it today. It's done a lot over the bus with me.
Just one more. And then release that foot down. Okay, we're going to switch to the opposite side. Oh, you guys. That's a new part of it, isn't it? That's amazing. Nobody can actually see me. Yeah, you can. Okay. Right. So you know the drill anyway. So ground out through that standing foot. Really press in through the heel and the pants and toes. Then lift the opposite leg. And maybe you bring it up into this balancing knee posture initially, and then if you do want to catch hold with the foot, then press the foot into your hand, really press it in. Drawing it really out of bandha, pulling into the bandha again, and breathe. Keep on pressing the foot into the hand. Knees align with the other one. And then if you fancy it, you can try and take the hand away from the wall a little bit, just exploring that. Brilliant, look at that. Everybody's got it. And yeah, you did my best. And then release that foot back down. Okay, and then it's a little bit of a shake out. Okay, so what I'm wondering is whether I should stand at one end. We haven't finished yet. We aren't getting a drink. We are almost finished. Okay, so next option. That's option 1 or 2. There's 2 options within that. But the third option, we're going to put this wall again, is to come up to this and then begin to really, as you press into the foot, you can move your hand along the wall a bit. We're going to lift this leg, and we want the hips, ideally, you can see this, the hips
We're going to still be pretty level, but I'm leaning forward now, and this leg, I'm really pressing the foot into the hand. To have a little explore, but if that, just give it a go.
Yeah. Just don't know which one you would.
Notice how, whether it's possible to just tilt the body forward a little bit, support yourself. Oh, look at that. Keep on pressing. So less sometimes is more. Excellent. Good, good. Okay. And then release yourself out of that position. Turn around and come the other way. Root down through the opposite foot. Come back to the first or second stage. You know what's best for you in this posture. Then lift this back leg. Press it. And you can tilt the body forward slightly, but you just notice where my body is. I'm not down like this. I'm up like this. That's my leg that's coming up. I'm stronger, I think, on this side because I've got this right back issue. But and then if you can squeeze your shoulder blades in. Oh my God, good work.
Maybe do it so
Yes. Very good. Good having a move, isn't it? You can just check what's happening.
Yeah. I think it's fun. So I wanted to assess because we're near the wall. I think it's easy to do. You know, if we'd been there, I would have like you could take it out, you know, it's almost the security, isn't it? Yeah.
I think actually we're going to just leave it there for this evening, but that was really good work. So well done, all of you. Well, thank you for participating.
I think it's like you said as well, it's also making your brain start to, I can do this.
Yeah. 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 It is. It's about I can, and when you've got a song, not as good as so, or I'm not like this, and it's like not listening to that.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to slow down. Some of the time has disappeared. We're going to slow down to that, and we're going to just start to come down and do a little bit more pranayama and then some shavasana. So really soft, flowing arms on salutation. Arms out wide this time, soft through the knees, and really flow your way down. Feel the flow. Inhale, lift to really soft halfway, and then exhale, hands down. Simply walk the feet back and come off the knees, and then softly come back to an extended child's pose. We're just going to take a few rolling cat-cows. So inhale, roll over into a cat, and then come back through into a cow, and going the other way, coming through into cow, and then roll back into cat. So I'm just going to do that once more. So rolling through into your cow and back into cat, and then draw the knees together and wrapping the arms around the legs and softening down. Allow the head to come down onto your mat. And then in this posture, as you breathe into your body, think about breathing into the back ribs, breathing into your front ribs, where you need to make the space, and then breathing into your side ribs. Okay, on your next inhale, inhale yourself up. So we're going to practice 12 more rounds of our cooling breath. So take whatever seat is comfortable for you. You know what you're doing. So let's just begin together, and then you can work in your own time.
So just allowing the eyes to close. Soft through the shoulders, into the elbows and the wrists, arms and hands soft. Weighted pelvis working down, letting go of the weight of the pelvis. And then let's begin. 12 rounds. When you get to the end of all 12 rounds, so allow the lips to close gently. Again, experiencing quality of the practice, sensations arising. And the sense of coolness to flood from the mouth and into the body, running down the neck into the shoulders, down the spine, into the hips. Bringing the legs, feet, toes, cooling, arms, hands, fingers. Crown of the head, scalp, ears, lips, eyes. Then an invitation either to stay here in a meditation pose or to lie down in Shavasana. So if you'd like to come into corpse pose, go ahead and do that. If you're happy to stay seated, also do that. So just taking 3 more deep breaths in through the nose, out through your mouth. Each time you exhale, you can exhale with a sigh and just releasing the body, the weight of your body into the floor. Just get a sense of your body surrendering, melting. Muscle fibers releasing, bones heavy. So you allow the full weight of your body from the skull all the way down to the soles of your feet. To relax deeply into your mat, knowing that you're being held by the earth. And letting go of the need to do anything. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Reconnecting with your breath once more. Into bring some movement back into fingers and toes. Then the head from side to side, rocking the head slightly, just gently. Once you can take a big full body stretch, arms overhead, pointing toes away. You're on inhale, and then as you exhale, draw the knees to the chest. Give yourself a hug and rock from side to side. Having a little rock from side to side, rocking over onto the side of your body, resting there for a moment or two. Now when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bring the palm bigger. Inhale, taking that arms, hands overhead. As you exhale, bring the thumbs back to the third arm. Just once more, bring into mind what it is that you are feeling grateful for, beginning the practice. Really leaning into that now, feeling that, sensing it, hearing, smelling. And then bringing the hands down to the heart center and sealing that in. And shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh, I've been respectful, they've never been Pardon, yeah, they were, so.
Mm.
Wasn't sure. I think she